Hi guys, this is Vincent Mejia and I'm presenting my still media editor tool critique, and the tool that I chose is called GIMP. GIMP stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program. In keeping with the rubric as well as all my choices, the reason that I chose GIMP is that it's both Mac OS X and Windows friendly. Initially, I would like to say that its level of complexity is very high. For the purposes of cooperative education and sharing, both students and teachers can uh, share in the process of editing images. It has a lot of uh, options, providing many avenues for creativity. It's presented as a more simplified version of Adobe Photoshop with more options. However, it's uh, it's very complex, and it took me approximately about 3 hours to study the program, troubleshoot, and complete my finished product for the purposes of this critique. So it's downloadable from the internet, and that's fairly simple. Um, Beyond that, that's just the first step in the adventure that is GIMP. So let's get right to it. This is the display for GIMP, and what I'm going to do today is demonstrate how to essentially cut and paste images and place them over a background image. Now, this would seem fairly simple. However, like I said, GIMP is quite complex. Um, but let me get started with the image that I'll be using. This is a panoramic image of the Bay of Naples. It's a city in southern Italy. And what I'm going to do is take images from this image that I created some time ago, La Scuola Italiana, for creative learning, toddlers, children, and adults. And you see here there are three colored circles representing the colors of the Italian flag, Italian classes, teaching language through art, and art classes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and paste these images to the underlying background image of the Bay of Naples. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is go up to File, Open. Even though I already had the image open prior, that's not the image I want. Um, let's see. Okay, the JPEG image is what I want to start with. And let me open this a little bit. Now, for the purposes of click and paste, I will open my resource images, which will be La Scuola di Arte, JPEG, right here. And I will expand that a little bit, increase that to 200% for the purposes of resolution. And I'll just adjust that a little bit. I can open this to 200% as well, and I'll just scan back and forth and show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is demonstrate how click and paste works through GIMP. There are a variety of options over here, and as we can see from the icons listed, the first three I've set up as being the most critical. This is a rectangular select tool, which will be perfect for a text image cut right there. The elliptical tool is critical for making cuts of circles. The other way that this can be done can be through the lasso tool, which is a little bit more complex. You would have to actually go and as you were using an airbrush or a paintbrush around the circle, excuse me, that is for more detailed editing. Some of the other options are the scissor select tool, which seems to not work about 80% of the time. Foreground select tool for colors, zoom tool, um, centering tool, crop tool. The scale tool, which we'll be using today, is very important. And there are also other options for cage transform, which is a way of configuring asymmetrical, nonlinear text and images and that sort of thing. And there are also the standard pencil tool, paintbrush, airbrush, etc., and as well as text tool for creating layers. This down here is also the background image tool, and I'll show you the color background bar. And its choices, I mean, it's just a matter of moving the cursor around. And for a more advanced project, changing the color background or starting from scratch, this is extremely helpful. So for our project, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select first the elliptical tool. Let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit. Now, the thing with GIMP is just a matter of getting used to the feel of it. As you can see, there's a box here, and the corners are where you want to be as far as setting up your circle. Let me see if I can make that a little bit better. And as I began to touch upon, being a Mac user, GIMP, the icons are fairly familiar to me, and the command control options as well. It's just that it's extremely complicated and very sensitive. Many times I've had to readjust, and this image will disappear, and so it's just a matter of getting used to the sensitivity. So now that circle is an actual circle instead of an ellipse, I can bring this back down, and I'll go right to, actually I can click and cut. The image disappears. Next thing I want to do is open a new file, choose my template, size 640, paste, and we're set. Now, shouldn't be worried about the fact that this image is so small, because the next option that comes into play is scaling. So here we have this very nice, very detailed geometric design, and it's just a matter of extending the boxes. Now, once that happens, the size that I want, I can also manipulate the shape. This is more of an oval. So that's one option that I have. I'll click scale, and I'll just save that. But I already have it saved, so I'll just close that without closing it saved, just to show you what I can do with that option. And the very next one is using the rectangular box. So let's see. Okay, the first thing I will do is back out of that. Go here. Okay. Once again, it's a matter of dragging the corners. I'll line this up as best as I can. And as I said, it's a bit of getting used to. See, I am using the corners, but it's just so sensitive. Okay, that's one corner. That's another, and then Drop that down, pull this back up. There's a corner. Here's the other one. I'll adjust this. Okay, and I'll just realign that. Okay, now that that's set, just a matter of click and paste, cut and paste. I cut, open a new file, select template size, and paste. And once again, I can show you how the there's a zoom option here. Well, it's not working in this sense. It would probably be better for text, but let me go straight to the scale. Once again, this really neat box opens up, and I can adjust just by pulling the corners. There we have one choice. I click scale, and we're set. So I'm going to close that out because I already have it saved along with my other resource materials. I'll close that without saving it, and I'll close this. And let's just take a look at the final project. Okay, here we go. Now, there's a lot going on in this image, but just to show you how it works, this is the finished product. And this is the panorama. And I can scale that back now that we have an idea what it looks like. And there we go. So I cut the text, put it over here, centered the creative learning, toddlers, children, and adults in the center. And the other images, as I showed previously, I adapted the size as well as the shape of the circles to more oval. And we have an image, multi-layered image through GIMP. Some of the other options, like I said, are far more complex. There are options over here for layering, which has to deal with a bunch of different projects at the same time. And for the most part, it's just a matter of getting used to the icons, running over them, getting a feel of how everything works. So in keeping with the rubric, on a scale of 1 to 5, level of difficulty, I give it a very low 3 to 2. Cooperative education is very good, closer to 3 or 4. And ease of use as well, and what it can offer multi-digital design. The options are very, very focused, but difficult to use. So that's my critique on GIMP. Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao.